Welcome back to City on a Hill Gaming, a tabletop RPG actual play podcast. Let's meet the team.
Hi, I'm Grant, and I'm the GM.
Hi, I'm Peter, and I'm playing Faramond Bahar, Human Paladin.
Hi, I'm Daniel, and I'm playing Ansel, the Inquisitive Rogue.
Hi, I'm Ryan, and I'm playing Ruach, the Air Genasi Shepherd.
Hi, I'm Ben. I'm playing Reepsy Piven, the Satyr Druid.
Hi, I'm William. I'm playing Myastin Zarvrex. I'm a Dragonborn wizard.
We hope you enjoy our show.
Welcome to our next session of City on a Hill. I'm Grant, your game master. That's Ryan over there. Ryan, say hi.
Hello.
He's, the City on a Hill guy, so I should probably introduce him first. And we have William.
Hey.
We got Ben.
Hi-de-ho.
We got Daniel.
Swerbu.
We got Peter.
Hello.
And for once, I did that without looking at names, and I'm proud of myself.
That's very good.
Huzzah!
All right. Who wants everyone where we left off?
In the desert.
On a
We made
Just arriving at
chase. Fighting Beedrill. It's similar. It was more or less that.
I mean,
horrible
you're not-
giant wasps of doom, I
That was
think
the
is
one.
Yes, cliff wasps. Dun dun dun. Right, and I believe, as we narrated it, you had fought off the cliff wasps, and Yugug, the caravan master, a orc lady of considerable renown in the area, at least as far as Faramond knows, had said, "All right, we're pushing on to Samrat, the next town on the High Wastes Road."
Yeah, she was intent on us not stopping for the night.
Indeed, because it turns out cliff wasps aren't normally this aggressive, and it seemed like a bad idea to stay out overnight. At least, for normal caravaneers. Heroes, obviously, made of sterner stuff, I'm sure. But you all pushed on to Samrat. And I believe that's where we left off. Samrat is an unpleasant counterpoint to Sajarun, the city you just left. It's a low, dusty village. Its houses are built of solid stone. They're low to the ground with small doors and heavy shutters and these odd, slightly curved roofs. Anybody familiar with this area will understand why it's built that way. Sand from sandstorms clogs the alleys and piles up high against the northern edges of every building. Your caravan arrives in twilight. Only a single lantern is lit near the gate to guide you in. But despite the late hour, a desperate crowd quickly turns out to greet you. They're desperate for goods. They're desperate for work unloading caravans, desperate for work tending beasts, and desperate above all for news. Yours, it seems, over all the shouting and chaos that descends, is the first caravan to make it through from Sajarun in apparently weeks. What now?
well, I'll do my best to actually convey whatever news that people are looking for. If the situation is this dire, I'm certainly not going to not help.
I look for someone I feel knows this Samrat. I look for someone who I feel like knows Samrat pretty well, and I have a question for them.
Great. You actually, it's late, but there's enough commotion at the gate, and frankly, the arrival of a caravan is news enough. You actually see somebody you do know. He stands out pretty noticeably. It's a tall Earth Genasi who just happens to be the mayor of Samrat, or at least the closest thing to mayor. His name is Sul Kadamar. Notably, he stands out not just because he's a tall Earth Genasi, but because he has turquoise studs in his face. It's his sort of his little quirk, his little bit of decoration. He otherwise dresses pretty severely.
Will he be upset if I call him Sul?
Yes.
Okay, fair
His
enough.
name is Sul Kadamar. His
Reasonable.
family calls him Sul Kadamar. His enemies call him Sul Kadamar. That's his name.
I love this character now. I'm very excited about this. Okay, I walk over to him and wave. Sul Kadamar. It has been some time.
Ruach, you are unexpected, but not unwelcome.
I will accept that. I have a
The
question.
inn Yes.
When we came in, they said it had been some time since a caravan had made it all this way.
Yes.
How many were you expecting?
Several.
In the
It has
last
been
days or weeks?
20 days since a caravan arrived.
And there should have been several in that time frame?
Yes, it's impossible to say how many, of course, but we expect
Regular.
1, 2, if a day goes by without one, it's a slow day.
So there easily could have been upwards of 30 caravans between Samarat and somewhere else in that 3 weeks.
Indeed.
And we are the... Were they all coming from the south?
No.
Spread out different
mean-
directions?
I mean any caravan from any direction.
None has come in 3 weeks.
No. It has been difficult.
Has anyone, caravan or not?
Only the caravans who left and came back, unable to make it through.
Do you know where any of... Are any of the... What's a good word for person who guides the caravan? Is there a word for that?
Caravaneers.
Caravaneers, yes.
Or guides.
Okay.
Caravan guides.
Are any of those caravaneers who left and made it back still here? Is there one I could speak to?
I said the caravans returned.
Oh, animals and the supplies, or just the animals?
Let us say remnants. A wagon
Unfortunate.
here, a few animals, a few lucky survivors. The desert has grown hostile. But it is late. Is that
If
that
they-
Yogog?
Yes, we rode in with her. If there's survivors, I'd like to speak to some of them in the morning, if possible.
Yes. I will
Even the animals.
I will see that they are available. No doubt
Appreciate
they
it.
will. No doubt there will be crowds asking you for things, but
That's
come.
fine.
How many are with you?
Me personally, 4 more.
4 more. Yes. Unless any of you are especially large, it will be a tight fit, but stay in my house tonight. The inn has been not abandoned, but it will be overcrowded, I suspect, with folks drinking, celebrating, and making noise.
Your hospitality is appreciated.
It appears that a party is already leaving in that direction. And you, in fact, see Yogog armloads of goods in hand with a fairly desperate older woman already trying to haggle with her in the dark, basically by lantern light. It looks busy.
Does his
Actually-
being actually that desperate here?
Give me an insight check.
Okay. Dice. Oh, that's not a terrible roll. 21.
Yeah. There's an undercurrent of desperation. Definitely saw Jaroon had an undercurrent of anxiety. This is a desperation of isolation. That sense of we've been cut off and we don't understand why.
Complete. It's a lot.
The hungry looks that everyone is giving, not because they're necessarily starving,
Sure.
but because they've been isolated, they've been afraid, they don't understand, and they need to know what's going on.
Okay.
That's what's kicked in.
Before we go to his house, I go find Reap.
Mm-hmm.
Reap, question. Is
Yes.
there anything you can do for them?
For the town?
Ryan speaking. Ryan is asking, is there any amount of create food and water that'll make a difference here, I guess, is where I'm going with it.
I mean, I can
That's also
restock.
that's also a grant question, I guess, technically.
I could restock some water supplies for them, and potentially, if any of their food has been or water that they have has been contaminated, I can try to cleanse it. But that might be the extent of what I have abilities for.
Okay.
Our water is untainted. We do not have issues with water here. I cannot promise that that will last, but that is a conversation for not the street.
Very
Okay.
good. So yeah, well, I'll motion the others, and we'll follow him. I guess wherever
Great.
his house is.
Faramond actually has something that he would like to do.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like this has turned into a bit of a desperate situation in some ways, that tends to lead to people's uglier sides coming out, and Faramond is probably going to find himself a spot where he can kind of observe what's going on with the caravan and insert himself into any situations that start to turn truly nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if somebody is going to get, like, beaten or robbed or something like that, he's not going to let that happen. If people are just, like, you know, yelling at each other and stuff, he'll let them blow off the steam, but any
Right.
kind of, like, actually predatory or cruel behavior is going to get stopped.
Sure. You feel actually a couple minutes of watching this. You feel kind of a tug on your sleeve.
Okay. I'll look over in the direction that it's coming from.
There's a lizard folk standing there. A little bit unusual out here. They tend to prefer wetter climes, but not exactly unheard of. Hey, you.
Hello.
Listen. You heading out of here?
Not immediately.
Immediately. Well, listen. If you're heading out of here, I can pay you 50, 40, 30 gold. I can pay you 30 gold if you take me with you.
Where are you looking to head?
Anywhere but here. You seen this place? It's a dump, and listen. I got a wife and kid. Well, I got a family. Look, I probably got a couple of kids, and it'd be real sad if they grew up without a father, right? Hey, you. Hey, points at Ansel. Hey, you. Listen.
What?
Can I borrow 30 gold from you?
You pay for that.
No.
Faramond will give this lizard folk a very long look.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I see we're coming to an agreement here. Yeah. We good on this? When you leaving? Look, you came in, you know the route back. I assume you're heading back. You're making trades. The roads aren't going to be safe for too much longer if you get my drift. So,
Probably
no,
heading further in.
Yeah, no, we're not heading back. We must go further in.
I don't think our group is the one you want to travel with.
no, you seem very stupid. Listen,
Faramond will give him what is probably best described as a hard smile.
all right, look, listen, I'm staying over here at the Desert Manticore, right? It's the inn. Look, it's the inn, all right? It's the inn. Look, this is a small town. It's not a nice town. Business was awful. I shouldn't have come here in the first place, but that's a story for another day. But listen, you go to the inn, right? You go over to the Desert Manticore. You ask for Granorn, and you tell him that they got 30 gold.
I knew it. I knew that's what was happening.
You got 30 gold on it, right? Just waiting for you for old Granorn to be taken back out of here, right? And we got a deal, all right? He slaps you on the shoulder, right? Tomorrow, yeah? You and me, right?
Not sure.
Bring the wagon. Yeah.
I've never
Going
been this happy
further
to say yes to a
in,
question before. Grant.
My dear lizard, going further in, you may want to look for a different group.
Yeah. Well, listen, I know you seem like a smart person. Or, well, okay, no, you seem like the kind of person who's easily convinced to do something stupid, and then you'll figure it out, and then you'll go back and be like, I shouldn't have done that. I should have listened to old Granorn. Yeah, should have listened to old Granorn.
Perhaps you have
So,
an
in like
incorrect
3
read
days-
on the sort of people that you're dealing with here.
I don't know. Listen, I'm pretty good with people. All right, I've always been good with people. It's a gift. It's a talent. But listen, in a couple of days, when you come back, and you say, "Oh, we should have listened to old Granorn," you look me up. All right.
I will take your
I gotta-
words under advisement, sir.
I'm gonna go get a drink. It's the only thing to do in this
that.
town. He slaps you on the shoulder. He heads off, looks at you, does the you and me, right? The thumb and the pinky finger, you and me thing. gives you the eyes, heads back in.
Faramond will take another look around just to make sure he didn't miss something nasty while this was going on.
Hey, Granor, or nope. Hey,
Granorn? Yeah.
no.
Faramond will just kind
Faramond.
of gently guide Ansel over to the other side of his person, away from Granorn.
Hey, Faramond.
It's like one kind of smooth motion. Just take him by the shoulder and then switch him to the other shoulder.
Don't leave
Keep an- help me-
probable kids fatherless.
Help me keep an eye out for anybody who's actually getting harmed or exploited here. This will be good experience for you. It'll teach you situational awareness.
Speaking of situational awareness, just to be sure, discreetly check your money. I don't know if I trust that Granorn fellow.
I'll go ahead and do that. But if some of it is missing, Faramond is probably not going to overly care.
The good news is none of your money is missing.
I mean, Faramond has a passive perception of 20, so
Yes,
it's
and-
very hard to get pickpocketing past
And
him.
you've got a high enough insight to understand Granorn seems like the kind of person who pays somebody to steal,
Yeah.
possibly
Rather
with
than
the money
doing
that they're
themselves.
going to steal.
Yeah. I'm so delighted that NPC from last campaign made it back.
Okay,
You're
You're
so
gonna do real good, kid. Grandon's proud of you. You're gonna do real good.
I try.
all right, so we're making sure a fight doesn't break out.
Honestly, things are fine. There's an excited air. This is kind of a hopeful thing, right? Like there's desperation, but it's like, oh wait, people can make it through, right? Maybe things aren't so bad. Maybe if we're lucky, right? Maybe if things go right, we can make it through. So
Well-
there's that. It's less things are going to go bad and more. Woo! Tell us your stories. Drinks are on us.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah, and I mean, like, Faramond will kind of wave that sort of thing off, just kind of because he's used to watching for danger and stuff. But
Mhm.
if somebody has, like, a serious question for him, like, hey, is XYZ road still safe or something, and they traveled it, yeah, he'll make sure to answer.
Yogog's better known around here, possibly, or at least is more obviously the traitor. And so, like, you're known to the right people, but Yogog's the one doing business, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
And so there's probably a little bit of that, but most people are focusing on Yogog and the other Caravaneers. You don't have that Caravaneer look.
Yeah. But, you know, Faramond's all about security, so
Of
that's
course.
what he's
No,
going to
and you do get a few questions your way. We're just not going to go over all of
Yeah,
them.
yeah, that's cool.
All right.
That's it for me.
Cool. Anybody else doing anything? You've all have at least heard from Ruach that Sul Kadamar is going to put you up for the night.
I just can't wait for a bath.
Oh,
Okay.
I have bad news, possibly.
I just can't wait for a bath.
How do you feel about in-field prestidigitation?
Does that mean bath?
It can.
I mean, it means you're not as grungy as you were before. You can also kind of wash yourself with sand in a pinch.
I'll
Reed
pass
just
on
kind of
the-
walks over and like casts create water right above.
Sploosh.
Just not even a shower, just a straight deluge of.
Just 10
Open
gallons of
faucet.
water over his head.
Yep, just oof.
my ledger book.
That's about as bathy as we get right here.
Indeed. All right. Anybody else doing anything before we kind of reconvene?
I'll hand him back his bone dry ledger book that I snatched as soon as I saw the druid walking over with a look in his eye.
Fair enough.
I just run my finger down its spine gently and then put it back in my satchel.
I got nothing
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Okay.
as I try to figure out spells.
So late that night. It's deep night, probably later than perhaps it should be, but adrenaline has perhaps kept you up a little later, as well as the opportunity to sit around and rest. You all are sitting around Sul Kadamar's little fire, his little hearth in the middle of his house. He lives here. He's relatively old, even for an Earth Genasi. And his daughter and son-in-law live with him. He sort of takes. It's kind of a mutual thing, they take care of their old dad, and he takes care of them as mayor or an important person in the town, that sort of thing. And even with that, the house is maybe a little cramped with the five of you packed in. You catch a reproachful look from the son-in-law, who has had to move out to the storage closet, but it's it is what it is. And you're all kind of gathered there, packed in around the fire with a warm drink for the cold desert night. And he, after welcoming you in and showing you proper hospitality, Pharamond, it's close to what you would get in the tribe. It doesn't seem quite right. These city folk, they try, but it's just not there. But they got the spirit, as the old meme says.
Yeah.
And after little cups are passed around, he settles in. So the roads you got through. What happened?
Well, there were the wasps.
Yes, we were told that some of the wasps have gone aggressive. More
That would be
aggressive.
an understatement. They seemed coordinated beyond
they
what
are.
I would normally expect from insects, actually.
They are always somewhat coordinated. They are clever creatures, and I always they are city builders as much as we are, in their own way.
I have no trouble believing that based on what we encountered.
And Ansel checks his notes as kind of his travel log. Things we did notice, other than the cliff wasp attack, the plants around seem like they're out of season with each other. Some plants are like past blooming and dying off or going to fruit, while some of them aren't even budding yet. And everything's, according to our expert here, everything seems really out of balance.
Yes, we have seen a little of that. We can support everyone here. We have enough farms under cliffs and gardens and that sort of thing, but some of the fields are coming in earlier than expected. We are doing what we can to save them, but of course we did not expect it, and we are a bit concerned that come the end of the season we may begin to run short. We shall see. Nothing is wrong exactly, nothing is rotten, but things are off.
Would you say that they are off in a way that correlates with any changing weather, or in spite of the weather?
The weather has also been bad. More sandstorms than usual.
I see. Scribbles things down in his book.
You are here. What now?
Well, I suppose, at the behest of Ansel, I believe, we continue on north. We are in search. We were just riding with her for the time.
No doubt she will be here for several days, and perhaps she may not leave. We shall see what happens. But the roads are dangerous. And there is something else.
Yes?
One of the traders, a Kenku caravaneer, Rock, the last one to arrive from the north. She was coming from Majoran. She claims that the Great Crossroads Oasis, which you all know is where the High Wastes Road kind of tees off into the Ajor High Road leading kind of northeast, and the Shard Pass Trail leading to the northwest, both of which cut through the Oraskian mountain range that separates this waste, this part of VR from Ajor to the north. Said that the Great Crossroads Oasis was not there.
Oh, that's not good.
When they said was not there, did they mean dried up or did they mean absent?
She was not clear. It was not dry to be sure, but not dry in the right way. There are always little trickles left. They shift, they change. It is a danger of living out here, but it was even then there was always a trickle, a dampness, something that indicates that the water will return. This was gone in a way.
And
She
so,
barely-
Fascinating.
She barely made it to the Five Fangs Oasis, and that only with providential aid from a small clan they happened to meet, who led them along and shared some of their supplies.
and the Five Fangs is still there.
Yes, as far as we know.
Ansel, do me a favor.
Uh-huh.
What you're looking for, explain it to him.
Yes.
Perhaps he knows something.
Yes, I am trying to track down our caravan order that my company has shipped out. The caravan invoice is Q34R57B.
Write that down.
I did.
Oh, good. Do you know who led the caravan?
Nope.
I do not keep track of numbers. I leave that to those better suited for it. I keep track of people, but I hope they got through. When did they not? When did they fail to arrive, and where?
All right. So, Grant, I don't think we actually strictly established that.
Great.
So
Yes, and at me.
fantastic. Yes. Well, it's hard to tell when someone fails to arrive because there's not really an exact date on that. However, I do think that if we can post date their last known meeting, as far as I've been able to track the order, I would say that the last time we heard from them was 15 days ago.
I see. Not so long, but a worrisome length. And they were headed south?
As best we could tell, they were coming. They were supposed to leave Sajaroon, go through Samrat and the Five Fangs, and then to Sakura. I believe that is what we have tracked out.
I see.
We will be continuing north in search of it. That's why we are here.
I would ask around then, but good luck.
Thank you.
I love Ansel so much.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's got all of these like various other PCs that are like different levels of hardened desert professional, and he's just like this wide-eyed innocent
I
way
just wanna
over
put,
his
like-
head.
I just want to put a hand on each cheek and just like, oh, honey. Oh, honey. Okay.
Oh dear.
We're going to be fine. This is going to be fine. Oh, I love it.
Yep, all ready for the desert. Have my high waist pants and everything.
Oh, sweetheart. Yes. Okay.
You do seem a most quintessential merchant.
Oh, I'm not a merchant. I'm a junior executive accountant.
He looks at his daughter. She shakes her head. You may stay.
I like that that was somehow contingent on his. That's great.
I'm helping.
It's like, can I please just throw him out? And the daughter's like, no, Dad, be nice.
You've already offered your hospitality.
Yeah. No takey backsies. Just because he's ridiculous doesn't mean you can just make him leave.
Indeed. Anything
And-
else
oh.
you guys want to ask him before, we do the nighttime in music and you all wake up refreshed?
Yes, but we don't need to role play it out in detail. I just want like as much information about who actually did make it through, like looking for any kind of commonality there.
He's really the wrong person to ask. He kind of keeps a general eye on things, but the citizens of Samarat are more his business and keeping
Okay.
order and that sort of thing. He knows a few of the major merchants. He knows Yugog. He knows Ruach. And as it turns out, an hour into the conversation, you actually say your name and he goes, "Oh, I've heard of you," that kind of thing. But really, you probably will need to ask around in with the traders and that sort of thing the next morning.
Fair enough. I will do that the next morning then.
Cool. Yeah. Anything else with Sul Kadamar?
I think that's everything I have.
Cool.
There might be something else if I was playing a different character.
That's shockingly how it works.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Next morning, you guys wake up. The sky is clear, but there's a sort of heavy pressure in the air that in any other part of the world might mean a storm coming. It's just, you kind of just have that faint headache feeling, of high pressure and sinuses and it's unpleasant. But the day is clear, if of course hot. And yeah, you guys, certainly have time here, but Samarat's not the most amazing town. There's probably a few people to talk to, but it's up to you guys. Peter, as far as Fairmont asking around, yeah, you get some information about caravans. Again, the last one to arrive was 20 days ago. Others
I'm
left.
actually more interested in the random stragglers that have made it back, what they saw, what they reported, that sort of thing.
Same.
The various stories you get are largely unexpected sandstorms. The road just, kind of being off course, which actually ties in with sandstorms. That's just kind of a thing that happens, right? These are not hard roads. Miastan, this in particular. This happens all the time. One of your big jobs is updating caravan routes because the track just drifts. That's normal, right? And if there's heavy winds and sandstorms and other just disturbances, yeah, that happens. One concerning thing that you hear is that the Araskian Mountains, the folks who kind of came down the Shard Pass trail, they seemed to be they saw smoke.
Oh, that's not good.
Those volcanoes, it's not fair to say that they are dormant, because Ojor is just this fascinating elemental land, and they have literal rivers of lava. Okay, it's very elemental, but those mountains have been, when they do things, it's not this close to VR. You have to be deep into Ojor for that to happen. You get the occasional rumble, right? The little plume here and there that's kind of wispy, not heavy smoke. Maybe more concerning was somebody who said that as they were on the High Waste Road going between the Great Crossroads Oasis and the Five Fangs Oasis, kind of just, maybe 10, 15 miles west of the mountain called Marwa, that one solitary mountain kind of out in the middle of nowhere, there was an earthquake. And over you hear stories of wildlife attacking, plants not being nourishing, plants overflowing with too much liquid and some of it poisonous. That sounds stupid from what they're describing. These plants don't do that. And one person tells kind of panicky stories of being raided in the night by one of the desert clans.
That'll
one-
make Pheromon's eyebrows raise. Like,
That one sounds like a bit of a wild tale. Like, it sounds like they're exaggerating, but they're telling it to everybody they can.
Ruok looks almost impressively more concerned and frustrated the more of these things he's told. This is worse than I think I expected, and I don't like it.
Question: Who specifically is the one talking about the raids?
That's a human trader named Marat Savarda.
I definitely want to talk to him directly.
Yeah, I will listen in, and
Yeah.
I'll have my notepad out. And while he's talking, I would like to make an insight roll.
Absolutely, you can. I'm not going to get into it too much. Again, these are almost wild, we got robbed kind of stories. Yeah. Sorry, your character name still says Vatna. It's very confusing.
I just changed it, but it didn't take.
Ansel, it's not just that he's telling wild stories. You detect that he just doesn't like these clans.
That's what I'm thinking.
He lost stuff, and I mean, he certainly blames these clans, but you get the feeling he blames these clans for lots of things. It's not that you can't tell, oh, he's lying, right? But if he lost it, it could have been to the clans, but he's definitely blaming them. He's going to blame them no matter what. He's just doesn't seem like a great guy. Let's be honest.
That's going to be visibly upsetting to Pheromond, who's probably going to kind of like keep his cool throughout the interaction and then walk off rather hastily, and as soon as he's out of earshot, have some very choice words about that guy. Because those are his people. And that is not what they're like.
No, it's not. All right.
Okay.
Anything else you guys need to do?
I think. Let's see. That is. No, that's a first level spell. I'm not going to use that willy nilly. I was going to go around and just start filling buckets with water for people, but I don't
Well,
wanna
okay.
waste spells.
Let's talk about the water here. There is no problem with the water supply,
Okay.
right? And that's maybe a little weird in its own right. Miastin, if this is a problem with like the water table, you'd think maybe it would have kind of decreased over the whole area. It hasn't. The water's flowing fine here. You actually can go out and see there's a spring that comes out. It's one of the few springs out here, but it's why Samarat's able to exist. They have these carefully protected irrigation tunnels, like these domed tunnels that take water out into the fields, to wells and that sort of thing. And the water table looks fine.
Okay. I am going to go to, I guess if there's like the trading post or dispatch or wherever we can expect traders to go in. I'm going to be asking around about my caravan order Q34R57B.
Sure. You do eventually track down somebody who has that on their records. They made some deals. You can confirm that there are actually some goods still in Samarat that were from that.
Ooh. All right. I will inventory them and strike them off my ledger.
Yeah. And this is normal, right? You expect them to be making trades along the way. Right?
Yes.
Perfectly normal stuff. It's kind of what you would expect to be sold in a place like this, roughly speaking.
Ooh, he got a good deal on that one.
Yeah, and a less good deal on the other one, which you also maybe want to make a note of.
Let's get underline.
Yeah, but it came through and it left maybe 25 days ago, which is
5 days ago. Okay.
yeah,
yes.
which is fine. You wouldn't actually no, probably more like 30 days ago, because you expected it to arrive in Ojor at some point, and it's obviously got a long time to travel. You're sort of a month behind this thing because it disappeared 15 days ago.
Yeah.
Or didn't check in 15 days ago, where you kind of would have expected it. But it's had a long time to travel before then, so you would kind of expect that.
Okay.
But yeah, it made it here.
Excellent. Okay, well, I will check that off, and that's everything that I have for this area.
Okay.
All right. Well, I suggest we try to find passage further north and follow the roads.
With the water being the way it is here, are the plants affected at all, or does it seem normally abnormal?
It's the same kind of abnormalities. I said it wasn't affected. That's maybe not true. In some places, it seems a little high, and in some
The
places,
water?
and like in some places, the soil seems. It's like the soil doesn't have the nutrients it should, and in other places, it's like it's too rich. Things are just imbalanced.
Yeah.
Something has thrown off the balance here. You can see it better because there are these little farms that support Samrat.
I go find Yagok, if possible.
Ruok, how are you?
Good.
Missed you last night. The conversation got lively.
I heard. It, we had conversation of our own. I have many questions. I have a question for you.
Yes?
Are you staying? For the time being, at least.
For the time being, and possibly longer. I have not heard good things about the road leading east and then north. I am concerned. Frankly, I am concerned about the road back to Sajarun. There's talk of a large caravan forming rather than individuals. Everyone turning around and trying to push out to Sajarun altogether. But I do not know if that will happen, and I do not know if it is safe. We would appreciate the company if you are headed back that way.
We are headed the opposite direction.
And I wish you safe travels and protection of the one that watches.
Appreciated. I suppose we will head on our own. I will be sure to collect our individual cart from the caravan before we leave.
And I will make sure that a few things for the road are left in it. You will need it.
Appreciated, as always.
If you do find whatever this is, I look forward to it being resolved hastily, and I trust that you can.
Such
You're a
is
good
the
man.
plan, and I appreciate
I like-
it. It was
I
a
like-
pleasure to travel with you.
Let's do it again sometime. Next time, I'll give you the wasps.
Enjoyable as always, I'm sure.
Oh, well, every time.
I kind of bow and I head back to the group. It
She
appears
gives you a hearty slap on the back as you bow.
I
You know
expect
better
nothing
than that
less.
You know better than to bow to me. Get it going.
I punch her in the shoulder. I head back to the group. It appears our time as a larger caravan has come to an end. Wherever we continue on from here, we continue on our own. Possibly plus or minus a lizard folk. I expect minus, but you know.
Okay.
Hope minus.
We
I
have
don't
our
really
cart.
want to
We
keep
have
an
our.
eye on that guy where
Oh.
we're headed.
I apologize. I should have done this sooner. This is Ryan talking now. I forgot. For those curious, our giant lizard friend, who pulls our particular cart, his name is Littlefoot. That won the Twitter voting, and I'm not
Yep.
mad about it.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm sad.
If it helps, I'm using some of the second place names as horse names in my current Breath of the Wild playthrough. So, that's something.
Fantastic. I'm sure those who submitted results will be thrilled to hear that. Actually, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We had some good options there. Actually, there were some cool things.
Yeah, my wife submitted Camel.
I did like Camel. Camel seems like a good name for a giant lizard.
I should name my horse Camel.
Exactly, right? All right. So yes, you check on Littlefoot. Littlefoot is doing fine, munching away on.
Don't say
Listen.
star leaves. Don't say star leaves. Don't say star leaves.
No, it's much worse.
Littlefoot's mom.
Thanks for listening to City on the Hill Gaming. For more information, you can find us online at cityonthehillgaming.com, email us at cityonthehillgaming@gmail.com, or find us on Twitter at cityonthehillgame. For more information on saving the game, you can find Peter, Grant, and Jenny at stgcast.org or at Saving the Game on Twitter. Thanks, and have a blessed day. Grant, why don't you go first?
All right. I advocate a semi-revolution. The trouble with a total revolution, ask any reputable Rosicrucian, is that it brings the same class up on top. Executives of skillful execution will therefore plan to go halfway and stop. Yes, revolutions are the only salves, but they're one thing that should be done by halves. That's Robert Frost's A Semi-Revolution.
Interesting. Very interesting. Daniel.
You can always find plenty of action in superhero comic books. You can find masterful storytelling, mythic characters, incredibly vibrant art, and great splashes of humor. And you can also come across some real wisdom. That can be a bit of surprise to people who don't know comic books well. At a time when wisdom seems to have vanished from most of the culture, it can sometimes be found embodied, enacted, and depicted in fascinating ways in superhero comics. Since it's a philosopher's official job description to pay attention to wisdom wherever it can be found, I want to take a brief look at wisdom as it appears in some illuminating superhero story arcs. We'll see that the general cultural skepticism about wisdom is reflected in some of its appearances in superhero comics, but we'll also see flashes of real appreciation for what wisdom is.
What is that from?
That is an essay called Comic Book Wisdom by Michael Thau, and it is from a collection I have called Superheroes and Philosophy, Truth, Justice, and the Socratic Way.
Very nice.
In the Socratic way.
In the Socratic way.
So
Ben.
great, Johnson. Okay. Doesn't matter what the press says. Doesn't matter what politicians or the mob says. Doesn't matter if the whole country decides something is wrong or something is right. This nation is founded on one principle above all else, the requirement that we stand up for what we believe, no matter what the odds or consequences. When the mob and the press and the whole world tell you to move, your job is to plant yourself like a tree beside the river of truth and tell the whole world, no, you move.
That is a Captain America speech.
Yes.
Very nice.
It is. It's a very famous one and a very good one.
William.
All right. Good thing about not doing anything fancy is I don't have to prepare very much.
Reasonable. Reasonable. And we still actually do test audio. It all works out.
I actually do have something.
Go for it, Peter.
He clasps the crag with crooked hands, close to the sky in lonely lands. Ringed with the azure world he stands. The wrinkled sea beneath him crawls. He watches from his mountain walls, and like a thunderbolt he falls. That is The Eagle by Alfred Lord Tennyson.
Oh, cool. I like that.
It's the only poem I have ever managed to memorize because it is very, very short.
Nice.
Very nice. Don't make me go back to freshman year of high school, because Daniel can attest to this, and quote Romeo and Juliet for bonus credit.
The only other, I've got a couple poems memorized. I used to have Keats' Ode on Grecian Urn, but I have another Frost one memorized that's very short that I quite like, that I'll drop one of these days.
Very nice. Our
Okay,
teacher-
Ryan, Act 2, Scene 3.
Well, no, so it's only the balcony, but our teacher gave us literally how much bonus credit you got was determined by how far you went,
And
Nice.
if you could cry on cue,
which I can't do.
which had a great story because apparently in a previous year, one of his students put lemon juice in his own
that's right.
eye,
I forgot about that.
got
Wasn't
the
that-
bonus credit,
was
but
that
I think
Trevor?
still got a. No, I don't remember who it was, but he
I
got a
do
bonus
remember
credit, but
that.
still got the failing grade because he couldn't finish the speech.
Oh, unfortunate. Pain is too much. That's reasonable. I remember that class because I had a friend who got so much extra credit in that class, he didn't have to take the final and still got an A.
One of my favorite little bits of Tumblr that floats around occasionally is a bit talking about two boys. I'm going to read it here. These two boys in my English class were reading the balcony scene as Romeo and Juliet, and I recorded it all because nothing has made me laugh that hard in a long time. Like, Juliet would pronounce a word wrong and Romeo would correct him, and Juliet would go, "Dang it, Romeo, this is why our marriage is failing."
Oh, I need to see this on stage. That's the one I want to see on stage. Not the movie. I want
That
to
is
see that one.
priceless.
This is why our marriage, not part of the story. Don't worry about that part too much. This is why our marriage.
300% would listen again.
Exactly.
Would attend in person.
All right. Are we all set?
Yeah, let's
As
go
we're
for
ever
it.
going to be.
All righty.